What up? What up? It's your boy Woody, and guys, Frenzy is coming. I know that the last Void, there were some major nations that had Void together, and a lot of people got hit. A lot of people got well, they lost a lot of troops. So, with that being said, what is, I'm wondering if like the troops that they lost from the Void, is it going to affect the Frenzy upcoming Frenzy? Because like in my nation, I'm going all the way up against the 500 nations. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting, and I think I overheard Nikki say that she has 52. So it's gonna be. That's gonna be a tough one.
I mean, it's okay. UBN 269 doesn't care about Frenzy. We're just gonna have fun. That's all.
Yeah, but do you? Let me ask you a question. Do you think that 52 81 is going to have not so much bad blood against you because now you're in 269, but you know how when someone leaves your nation, all of a sudden you go up against them, you're like, oh, I remember you. Do you think that it would be something like that to where they're going to want to play?
Uh, if a player that I know is there still, maybe, but one of the R4 came to me, say let's do a TA together, so that's what we're gonna do.
Nice. And so you guys said it. You said that you guys are going to do a TA. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you got to record that. I love watching those big battles.
If I'm awake,
Well, you know what?
not a problem.
Have someone record it. Like so many times, like,
Every time I tell somebody to record, it's all blurry.
well, yeah. It's
Mm.
usually what happens is like the person recording it, they're on like an
Can't tell you're going
Android.
to sleep. So what do you want? Do you want to drink them or do you want to sleep?
Alright,
All right, machine. I'm gonna
mute.
have to.
I
Yeah,
got you. I muted him.
thanks. So like usually the people recording like you're on an iPhone and they're on an Android. I
That
know
could be.
those two different platforms don't mix. They don't.
That is true.
That is, yeah. So, well,
But I'll put my alarm. I'll be awake.
well, try to ask see if someone else can record it just in case. You know how it is. Just in case.
Yeah,
Just in
we'll try. We'll
case.
try.
And also
Should be
see.
good battles.
Well, I wish. I like both the nations, so I just want to see it. I can't say I wish
Yeah,
anyone luck because I like both y'all. So,
we will keep
No,
our
just
losing
put them in the
streak. We're
fridge.
fine. The day we win a frenzy, then that nature needs to question themselves.
well, I mean, I now that I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to like when void time comes, they've been adding frenzy into the winning percentage now. You know how it used to always be just like your void wins will count as a
Mhm.
percentage. I was talking to who was it, Rooter about it, and he says that he's been watching that very closely, and they've been actually putting in their frenzy percentages as well.
I see.
So I'm wondering if this is going to be more like, okay, well now we got to try and frenzy as well.
Uh, a percent is a percentage, but if you have a winning streak in void, you're fine.
Well, yeah,
That's what matters.
you guys got like a 30 or 40 win streak, and you just
We
lost.
did, but we lost two of them, and then we were back to our winning streak again.
There you go. Hey, you know what they say. You can't win them all. You can't. I mean, let's
No,
be
you
real.
can't
You
win it
can't.
all.
It's
No.
nice. It's nice. I mean, I've seen you guys as trophies, but
Yeah.
you definitely can't win them all, unfortunately. The YouTube chat saying it looks like Hitman 22 from Seven Nation 20 or Nation 700, saying they have 785 for Frenzy. Oh wow,
Nice.
good luck. Good luck with that. Go heavy on recruiting and stay bubbled afterwards.
Why go heavy on recruiting? Save it for void. Don't
Uh,
waste it on frenzy.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if it for say if it was, let's just say if it was Void, um, going against like a heavy nation like that, that's the only thing you can do. That'd be like
It's like,
that.
sorry.
That'd be like 736, like my nation going up against 269 or 219. Only thing I can literally say is literally just go heavy in recruiting and stay bubbled, guys. Because as soon as your bubble drops, you're gonna have 60 people in you.
Mm, Yeah, but in Frenzy, I would expect people to not bubble and just play, because you're not gonna lose troops.
I agree. I agree, and that's what I always say. Take Frenzy as a test to your alliance. See what your alliance can
Yeah.
do. I had a one alliance come and they hit one of us without testing. They just went did a YOLO and they lost extremely bad. But after that, they said they said exactly what I said. Use Frenzy as a test. So know your
Oh.
capabilities. I see that I'm going up against 552 Marine. I'm sorry, Marine Mark. Right? Am I right? I hope I am. Marine Matt from 552. We're going up against them, and I seen some of the reports in their nation chat, and they got about 30 to 40 people that they can send at a time, if not more. So it might be something I need to personally be watching out for as well. So, but if they catch me, they catch me. That's all I gotta say. If they catch me, they catch me. Anyway, so what? Who else? Who else in here that has some frenzy um, competition this time, or are they going to be easy? I heard 918 is going against 732. Good luck with that. I want to hear a little bit about that, Mafia. If he's able to speak her up, her mic up. I don't think he's going to mic up. But yeah, they're going 918. They're freshly merged with El Professor. They're going against 732. That's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one because they got 918. They got what, 3 whales. They got 3 whales, but a lot of players underneath those 3 whales, they're like 34s and 33s and stuff. So that comes a problem of having a big whale merger is that everyone below them are not up to speed. And well, now you're going up against some big nations. So that should be interesting. That should be interesting. All we got in here, we got Johnny Ringo from 385, Scaff from 621, Kitten from 2. And you guys know who you're going against merge or going against Frenzy with?
I'm a plebeian. I won't know till tomorrow.
Really?
Yep. I'm a budget player, bro.
I found out mine yesterday. Like,
Yo, I've been messaging my VIP all day today, and I haven't gotten a reply as yet. So I don't even know who I'm going up against.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're on vacation or what, but I haven't gotten a response.
Well, I know Caddy from Facebook is not on vacation right now.
I
Storm,
got
can you
my
mute your
I
mic?
got I got Maria.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got Princess, and she told us. So I don't know what's up with Maria.
Yeah, we got like I think we use like 3 different VIPs.
hmm
We got Maria, Saki, and somebody else, but no, we haven't gotten a response from nobody as yet.
really?
I have
Yeah,
I have Maria, and she told me last night what ours is.
yeah. And, I don't know. Maybe she got tired of me asking about this whole merge thing.
Ah, man, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you one thing about your VIPs. The more you ask and bother them about merger, the less they're gonna talk to you. They're gonna tell
But
you,
I only asked her twice. Twice.
right, but you got to remember there might be other people in your own nation that's constantly asking them over and over and over again. So like, and you don't want to ask or be mean to them because we all know that Camel has the last laugh. Period.
Oh no, I'm never mean. I always tell her thanks. I send her heart emojis, and I try to be nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 305, not sure. 425 has 400.
So 425 has 400.
Yeah.
Anyone know how? I heard that their merge went pretty decent in 425.
425? Yeah. Hella good. We talked about it last time.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
This is gonna be
yeah,
interesting.
no, hella good. Yeah,
Uh,
no, they're from what I've seen before, like in other mergers, before, and I told LG that, like, and of course, like they all know, they're all apparent. He spoke on it, too. But they're tuned in, and it's not even like they're team players that more. I'm impressed with this, like their intercommunication, like I said, with like other alliances and their quickness to actually listen, respond, act, react, if you will, between okay, a nation's fighting another nation, not a team is fighting another nation, type of
right.
thing. The way they respond and stuff like that is, in my opinion, phenomenal, and it can only improve.
Now, do you think? Actually, I'm not gonna say. Don't answer this, but a lot of nations that like come void time or frenzy time or GC time, they'll be in a room such as this, how we are right here, with all the alliances in a nation, and they will talk. They will literally send their attacks with everyone in here, so it's like instant kind of stuff. Like obviously R5 and R4 was only two people that talk. Everyone else just listens and types and goes, kind of deal.
The good ones do that.
Hmm.
The only downside sometimes is obviously like, is a person using a secondary device for Discord? That would be my recommendation if they do, because it definitely does help. You're not using your whatever device you're using to play, AOZ, while also on the same Discord. But yeah, if they're doing stuff like that, it's always a plus. And then the only other downside besides that, as far as like, you know, data, is just the whole language barrier. But if you've got a couple different people in there, it can all work.
Yeah. Oh, I agree 100%. They can always work. Like, like for instance, you don't want the entire alliance in there, just like your R4s in there that speak the same language as you. So there isn't that language barrier. That way, they can just literally just post it in their alliance chat or their in-game chat, and they just know to go. I think we see that. I think we see that more happening during GC than Void, because Void is 24 hours versus an hour and a half long. But definitely,
Yeah, I mean, people should definitely implement it more, in my opinion, because even if it's just, they can still do it, like just like you're talking about, it's hour and a half, if you will. You know, maybe even just do it during a certain amount of time. Like, hey, here's our time blocks. Like your truce times and whatnot for frenzy. Maybe do
hmm
something like that in your voids or whatever event you're trying to do. Like, it can work, and it can only improve everybody's you know point making capabilities, if you will, because say you've got your two or three, bigger players or whatever. But oh yeah, so and so, y'all go and handle this. This person's going to handle like the main team, if you will. Then you got like a couple other players who are doing this, and just, and or if anything, you've just got two more different places to where you're seeing data and information like, oh, this one's getting hit, so we need help there. So say a big player or whatever comes in there, and they were essentially doing this before, but the main core group needs this, so they go and help out there. I mean, it's only going to improve stuff, in my opinion, if
oh
it's done
yeah,
right.
oh yeah, 100%.
And the more you practice, the more you practice it, it's going to get better.
Well, I always try to tell people, to use this, in your nation, even if it is void or whatnot, because if you're in a different alliance, like say you're in the second ranked alliance, go into the first ranked alliance, and you're able to understand the way that first rank alliance thinks, just by sitting in there, you're able to understand that, and then coexist your own alliance to where because you can always words typing something can only go so far, but when you actually hear someone speak and talk and explain why it's gonna be like that, it just makes like 100% difference than just reading something. Because I mean, we can all take something the wrong way, especially in game messaging. But when you actually hear what they're saying, you can understand. Like, for instance, I told my second alliance during Void, I was like, look, if you guys don't bubble, I typed it. If you don't bubble, I'm burning you. They took it as, if they even try to set a trap, I'm gonna burn you. And reality is like, no, 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 no. If you are being like, if your bubble falls and you have troops in your city, because I'm gonna speed scout it, I'm coming for you. But if it's a trap, and you can always tell it's a trap, I'm gonna watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna try to counter the enemy, but that's like the confusion that could have been taken or not been there if we were just on here, kind of deal, and talked. But we got quite a bit of people in here. All right, let's go and see. So we got Sean Spencer. They got 767 versus 838, and then I think that's going to be less than interesting frenzy. What does that mean, Sean? Does that mean that it's going to be a boring frenzy? Everyone's going to be bubbled, kind of deal? I don't think he's actually going to mic up. No, he's not going to mic up. I did see someone asking to see this one. Look at this merger that they got right here in the 900s. So in this nation, what is this, 904? They just got merged, and we're going to go back to the frenzy thing. But someone asked, so they just got merged recently for the 900s nations. They got three megas, three whales right here, 38, and you know, they got a, this is a for the 900s. This is a decent merger. Um, so, and this will be 918 El Professor and Mafia is probably competition right here is this nation. And they got their shit together because they're all in the same alliance, except for this guy, Dexter. Get in the same alliance, dude. Get with the plan. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to see over there, too. Um, did 343 get a second merger yet or no? Anyone know if 343 got the second merger yet? Because I seen someone talking about it.
I don't think so. I was looking through the recent merges today, and I didn't see them on there.
There's only so many 300 nations left.
Yeah, yeah. And the last two merges were only like one or two, older nations in the merges. They're mostly merging all newer nations right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, plus, if you notice, like how 594 got their merger, and this is the weirdest thing about that is that all their like main players in 594 didn't even get that golden ticket in game. They never received it until after they were merged. Like that was weird. And then you got like little farms, such as like ones like how it would be here, they got it. Like it was totally weird how that happened. Like I knew about their merger from a little city that I made over there before their number one alliance knew about it.
Yeah, I think they're trying to change it up a little bit because I heard on this last go around. Well, I mean, before our VIPs would not necessarily let you pick your nation right, but they would give us a list of who was in our merged pool.
Hmm.
And the last go around, they were saying, the people that I talked to were saying they wouldn't even get in the list. So it just seems to me like Camel or the devs are trying to head it off where people are trying to negotiate or pick who they want. It just seems like they're trying to steer away from that if possible, because they're not sending the number one alliance the tickets. They're not giving out the list of your merge pool. It just seems like they're trying to just merge you, and what you get is what you get.
Well, I mean, you gotta think about it one way. Like when Camel used to do that, and I'm not even gonna say used to. I'm gonna say if they did that in the past, and the other nations caught wind of it, uh, now Camel's got to deal with the people complaining about that. So if they're able to squash it and just end it all, then that's just one less thing they got to deal with. And
Yeah.
in reality, let's be real, that's the idea.
So I think if Camel didn't do the lock nations like they've done, the other nations like us wouldn't have had to do that. But the problem was we were fighting these superpower nations, and we're trying to be competitive with them. So that's the reason we were trying to get our own paired up nations, was because we were trying to compete.
Right, right, and I understand that, trying to compete that, and I get that, but I think once everyone realizes and accepts that the lock nations they're just gonna continue to get merged over and over and over and over again. The better off they'll end up being, because it's gonna continue to happen. It's part of the game. Um, I remember when it first started happening, everyone complained, and it didn't change anything. So, at that point, why bother even continue? You just accept it and do what you got to do to try to beat them. Who is that? Amtrak, can you from 772? Can you mute your mic? I don't know what it is, but dang, I was close to 35 on that one. Ah.
Sounds like water running.
Well, I want to get this cafe. I'm one away or a couple away from being able to get the level 6 for that troop. For more troops. Is it the cafe? Yeah, the cafe. I'm close to level 6, so I need 2 more to get that extra 1,000. Cross nation fleet. Guys, this is what whales worry about later on in the game. Is their fleet size? Believe it or not, that's all they care about is their fleet size. Don't get rid of their stats too, but they're more focused on fleet size. All right, let's go back and see exactly what other nations are getting Void or Frenzy. I'm sorry. So 904 versus 807. I don't know about these 900s and 800s nations yet. They're still learning them, still new. So let's check 904 out. I think I might have was just there.
Do you 904 merged with 907, right?
Honestly, I don't
think so. Because that same guy you looked at, that Dexter guy,
yeah,
he used to be in my old nation. And when we had Civil War, like a whole bunch of players left, and they went to 907.
Okay, so yeah, this was the people I was just looking at. So
yeah. So they got a good merge.
Yeah, they got a good merger, but I want to check out. Oh yeah, they got a decent.
No, 904 904 merged with 901. 907 is a lock nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, 901. That's it. 901.
But they got 807 in Frenzy, so let's check out 807. Oh, what am I doing?
So when 901 Woody, he left 901 and he went to 904. Then he didn't merge, so he went right back to his 6.
I mean that's what happens. That happens very often in this game, and it's. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard me say that when a whale, not saying this is the case, but a whale carries a nation for so long and no one else is helping them out. Oh, this is going to be a good frenzy. But when no one else is helping him out or they're not trying to help out, they're just letting him carry the nation, he literally gets sick of it. And he will literally just up and go to a different nation that has other whales there. I mean, how do you think Nation 52 or Nation 30 got so strong, like ED1 or the Nation 31? As other whales from different nations got sick of carrying a nation, they went to where other whales play, because at some point they don't need to play. They can sit out a frenzy or a void, and the other people can still win. I mean, this is gonna be a good frenzy.
To me, it's all a risk. I mean, you could join a nation with whales and something happens to the whales, like, a personal pass away or they quit the game, and then you're kind of fucked, right? I mean, everything's a risk.
That is true as well. Because real life does come first. It does. No matter how you look at it, real life comes first. This is actually going to be a good 904, and what was it, in 807 is going to be actually a really good frenzy. I wonder who's going to win that one. That's going to be a good one. Both of them have 341s, and one's got a 40, and the next one's got like a 38, I think. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good old frenzy. So, I want to know you guys' opinion about the towers, because I love the towers in Frenzy. I absolutely love them. Let me hear your guys' opinion. Do you guys like them, or would you rather see them disappear and be played like?
No,
Towers is the best.
Isn't it?
It's the best. Towers is the best. So we have like set times
Mhm.
where we think the other nation is active, so we go for the towers at that time. We did the same thing with you. We waited for you guys to after you guys left Elite War, we sent out a message. Everybody came online. We tried to attack the towers, but we knew we would lose, but it still would be fun. It still would be content, but yeah.
It
So we
was
try to do that. We
it was
we set
definitely
certain
fun.
times. Yeah, we set certain times where we hit towers. 50, 60 people. We try to get that and go for towers.
I
That's
think
it's the best.
I will admit that you guys gave us a run for our money. The
I mean, well, we try. We knew we were gonna lose anyway. I mean, we have the numbers. We just do not have the power behind it. That's just it.
well, okay.
But we have.
So when you go up against a nation like mine, and we're not a super nation by all means, we're not. Um, but when you go up against like mega whale kind of nations, y- that comes down to doing the homework of the actual nation beforehand, because walking you got to treat each nation individually different. What you did to one nation, you might not be able to do to another nation because they're just too strong. Like it'd be like me going
So
against 693. They're just they're just retarded strong, and excuse my language, they're just too strong for me to even try. Like 800 million BP. Yeah, the guy has more. These two has more troops than most of us will ever see in the whole entire game time here.
so we do that. We look at there's a bunch of factors that play into when we're looking at certain nations to
Hmm.
see who we could take down, which whales we could kill. So we look at like Officer BP and we look at the fall off between their bigger cities to their smaller cities, and then we look at reputation. If they don't have a lot of reputation, that means a lot of guys don't participate. So they're not gonna have like a lot of numbers to reinforce.
Agreed.
So we know that all right, this whale is gonna come. Let him attack a city, and while he's attacking the city, we send 3, 4 guys to reinforce and tie him up, and then we fill his city. We attack his city with like 20, 30 people and zero him out. So yeah, that's all right. When we attacked Havoc
Okay.
from what was it 847, and he thought he went back to his nation, 54 million BP, and he thought he was safe. And bro, we slammed him with like 40 people. Yeah,
Ooh.
dead.
Ooh.
Yeah,
What was his
in void,
BP? What was his BP?
in
Oh, in
in
void. Oh.
in void.
You know what? I think I seen that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we look at certain like if you're a whale, if you're a big city, if you're a 40, 41, doesn't matter, and you have anywhere from 80 million BP and below, you come to my nation, you bubble. Trust me, we know where we could hit with the level of our cities or strength,
Hmm.
whatever. We know where we could hit. And if you have 80 million BP or lower as a 40 whatever, if you want your troops, you bubble.
Well, and
Trust me. Or
it also comes. You got to have respect for the other top alliance too. Like, and
yeah,
what I mean by that is, porting into their alliance or around their alliance unbubbled in this game is very disrespectful. I mean, in this game, especially the older worlds, that's very disrespectful. And they might hit you 2 or 3 times. They might lose the first two, but they're gonna hurt you. Like they're gonna hurt. You might not. You'll definitely come walking back limping or something like that.
it's happened before. There was this one city that he just went C40 in frenzy and recruited a lot. Came to our nation, put on a fog, no bubble, and at the start of the frenzy, and we hit him. We hit him, and he put his shield up for the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, you got to figure that the void potions to,
Yeah, like
to get those
you don't
250.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you don't.
and then
It doesn't matter.
that all comes with the whole territory of figuring out who your enemy is. Like your homework, you got to do homework. If you don't do your homework, you walk into something thinking that you're invisible. You're gonna get smacked if it's the wrong uh, if it's the right alliance that can do it, you're gonna get smacked. Like,
Yeah, you're gonna get
Woody,
smacked.
yeah,
Woody,
yeah.
we had a guy in Void straight disrespect us. He ported right into our hive and sat there. And I don't know if he dropped his bubble on purpose or he forgot, and we fucking straight zeroed his ass.
That's exactly what I'm
You know
talking
what I
about.
mean? Like I tell people that is probably one of the most disrespectful things you can do to an alliance is port in the middle of their hive and sit there.
With no bubble.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that,
he was bubbled, but his bubble dropped. You know what I mean? I don't know if it dropped on purpose or he forgot to rebubble, but as soon as it dropped, I told everybody go. He wasn't super strong. He was like 38 million BP and he
mhm.
lost like 20 million BP. Gave up, I
Oh,
don't know, three,
eat
four
them
hundred
up.
million points.
Eat them up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Look, I don't think there's anybody in this game better than me at hiding troops. Trust me.
that.
As soon as the event starts, my troops are gone. I keep one fleet and that's it.
Well, I mean, I caught you. I caught you.
Yeah,
I
you caught me with like 30, 40,000 troops in my
There were still
city, but
troops. There were
that's
still troops.
it.
There were still troops.
Yo, as soon as the event starts,
Yeah.
my troops are gone.
The thing is like bigger cities have the mentality um, of not thinking they have to hide troops. Like for instance, and I hate throwing my own alliance underneath the bus, but for an example, we have a couple 30 or a couple 41s that they're 41. They're at 110 million BP. They think that they're at that point where they can't be touched. When in reality, they can be. They can be touched and violated very very badly. But that comes to knowing your enemy. Like for instance, if that 41's trying to set a trap and they see that we have all the big players online and like 40 people online, he can use that to his advantage and set a trap because it's going to take those 30, 40, 50 people that the enemy is sending at you. And if we have ours going there, oh, that's going to be a kill. That's going to be a killing right there. It's going to be ouch. Is what I'm saying. It's going to hurt. But sitting there by yourself, not telling your alliance where you're at, and then you're being hit, and all you're doing is posting your city. Well, it's too late. Like we're already in the other nation. My suggestion to like bigger players like that, or even in the newer nations, if you're semi-big, always let your alliance know where you're at. Even if you just post your location to let them know where you're at. Try to stick to where your whales are. Um, so if you are being hit and you happen to make that mistake by having your troops inside, at least they can send if it's only like one or two people. But like if there's like for instance, if one of my 34s left his troops in his city, and let's say he's getting hit by 20, 30 people, you're burning, dude. I'm not coming. I'm not coming. You're on your own. Like you should have hid your troops. And I think many people here can say that as well. That you know that's that whole saying, fuck around and find out. You show disrespect, they'll come back at you. But if it's like three people coming, oh, I'm all there, and I know that you're in there, and you have troops there. I'm waiting. I'm there. I'm speeding in for a defense. But I don't know. That's something you learn in time. I would say I've been hit twice in the lifetime that I've been in the game. I think I've said this many times. In 390, first void, thought I was strong, found out I wasn't real quick. And then once I was in 373, I got hit by Monkey King. That was I didn't have my troops. I poured in and sent real quick as a team, and well, I was I was that one person that got countered, and it hurt. It hurt badly. You learn a lesson. How many people here, and don't feel embarrassed, how many people here has been hit before? Made that mistake? I'm calling call bullshit. No, no one
I
here has
have.
ever been hit.
I have.
You have? You learned a lesson from that, though, right?
Oh, hell yeah. I lost almost 1 mil in troops
Hmm.
by accident, shield drop, and that was my only ever shield drop, and it was void.
And now you look at Void and you pay extra close attention.
Oh, for sure.
That 1 million troops. Let's say if you're not spending on your speed recruits, right? 1 million troops can take 6 to 8 months to get. Guys, that's a lot of troops for like if you're not speed recruiting.
Well, I was asleep and I literally missed it by 10 minutes.
Ooh, those are the worst. Those are the
Yeah.
worst. Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
Okay, can we go back
Kenku's
to the
changed my life,
tower?
Woody.
I'm sorry. What's that?
Can we go back
Kenku's
to the
changed
tower
my.
talking?
Ooh,
Oh, the
well,
tower. Okay.
I don't know which one of you guys are talking at first, but
I was talking about getting hit where we had a power come through and change our whole nation perspective. Because Kenku's changed 923's pers- pers- perspective on hiding troops.
mm,
That dude was a monster. He taught us a lesson.
you know,
So you will get that.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Like in the 300 nations, um, Ram. Ram went through many nations teaching that lesson to everyone. Um, he was the kind of type of person that he didn't care if it was a farm. He didn't care if there was two troops in there. Um, he was sending all five fleets every time, and every single one of them would have been spedded in. So like you learn that lesson early enough to where you like if you're a 41 now, and you have to learn that lesson, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt so bad, and it's gonna cost you dearly. But if you're like a 34 or earlier stage in the game, I think it's best to learn that lesson then. It's like let's be real. There's like being a 41 and getting hit heavy like that and losing millions and millions of troops. You have a real different perspective of the game at that point. You're just like, do I quit, or do I spend the thousands to get my troops back?
Getting hit ain't no joke. Trust
Oh,
me.
well,
Last time I got hit, I was like a C-34, I think. Or so.
well, well,
Yeah.
let me ask you: when you got hit, um, did you expect it to happen, or did you have the mentality like no one's gonna send towards me? I'm good.
Uh, I was hit in a city and got hit.
One fleet.
And then what I yeah, not I had not all my troops were in my city except for that one fleet. Then I fast recalled to say, all right, let me see what I could do with my Titans back, and
It made it
I ain't do
worse.
shit.
Yeah, it made it worse. They caught you with your pants down.
Shit.
Oh man, you know what? Here's the thing, and I don't know how many times I've had to say this, and many people have said this before. Um, just because you port in does not mean someone don't see you. Like, put it this way: if I'm watching a 41 or I will just say any city in my nation, I'm watching for that bubble to drop, and they poured away. I'm guaranteed within 20 seconds, someone in my alliance has found them, and I'm watching them again. So that's the biggest mistake that I always try to tell people. Like, look, always take it as someone's watching your city. No matter if you just port there, someone sees you. So, and that's the way you got to take it. And the best counter for that is to hide your troops. And I've seen people say, "Well, I only had one fleet inside. I'm sorry I got hit, but there was only one fleet." It's just not a big deal. Yeah, yes, it is a big deal because if points are close enough to the point where that one hit changes the difference in can change the difference in the outcome. I've seen it happen so many times. Anyone else been ever? Jen, you ever been hit in the game or no? Actually, no. I don't think you ever have.
My second void ever.
Second void.
Yeah, well, when I was still learning. Um,
It's better to
yeah,
learn.
and then I learned. I learned real quick.
Yeah, right. It just gotta get humbled once or twice, and you learn real quick. Oh, I'm happy that it wasn't like now that you got hit, you didn't have to learn a lesson now, because
No,
that
no, I don't get it now.
yeah, because that's a hard lesson to learn down there in 219, because they don't just send
Yeah,
one troop, they're sending the whole train, the whole alliance is
yeah.
coming.
No, and it wasn't a shield drop. It was just like I didn't know how to play then, and like everybody was still doing like slow, TAs back then.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
like I was kind of looking to see what was coming towards me, and then all of a sudden it was like the first speed attack ever, and I did not have time to see what was coming. So like I shielded quick, and there wasn't time. So like I didn't lose a ton, but like I still lost a good bit, and it was not pretty, but
You,
um,
you learned a lesson, and that's
yeah.
what matters. It's, do you imagine these 41s nowadays? I mean, the 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 potions only get you 250. What is it? 255,000 troops back. If you get hit and you lose like, let's say you lose like 10 million troops off a single hit, man, that's like very. If you do the math about how much those troops costed, that's like $100,000 hit. Like that's crazy. And unfortunately, that's the way people think about the game. Is when they hit a city, they don't think about the troops. They think I just costed him $100,000, and that's the fucked up thing about it is that's the way a lot of people think. I think that's what makes the game so intense for us. Is like it's the money that people put into it, knowing that it's no longer there. I don't know. That's a weird way to look at it, but a lot of people look at it that way.
Hey, Woody, I mean, let's be real. They knew the job was dangerous when they took it. You want to be a whale? You better face the consequences if that happens.
Absolutely, 100%. In my nation, like for me, if I went up against like a really heavy nation, like a strong nation, I'm not leaving my nation. I know better. I can't hide my troops. I know better. There are certain rules that a whale has to stick by, and that's if you're too big, too fat, you stay in your nation. You don't go exploring like Dora. You don't do that because you end up being a pack. What do you want to call it? Anyways, but I mean, you see people. It does happen. It does happen still, even nowadays. It's always those, and it's what? It's always usually within the first 2 hours. Those big people get hit hard. First 2 hours, they get hit hard. I'm wondering, who all that I want to know. Everyone else is at 732 says they got not 7. Yeah, 732's got what was it? 804, 904, 904, 918, 918. That's what it is. Wow. 702, 732's got 918. That's gonna be tough. Mikey, I want to hear your opinion about that. So you're going to be going up against El Professor and Mafia.
What nation was that? I thought it was a 600 nation.
I heard. Am I wrong? 732 versus 918. Let me look in the chat. I could have swore Mafia said that. Am I wrong?
Maybe it was 6.
Well, you would know. What nation you're going against?
So I thought he put. I thought Godlike put 616.
I thought it was 918. 616. Maybe it was Big Bad Wolf's nation.
Yes, that's what he said.
Okay, so then what did? Are you sure? I thought they said 918. Let me I don't know why I'm thinking
918. So that would be interesting. 900 nations.
I'm gonna go back and look.
You put
He said it in the word stream.
Yes. He did say Big Bad Wolf, so I'm not sure what nation. I thought he was in the 600.
Oh, he said 918. He said 918 against 734. That's my bad.
Yeah, 616. Yes.
616.
616.
That's gonna be interesting right there too. You got a nation that likes to fight.
I thought after the void with you guys that we would get an easier opponent since we technically lost. But I guess Camel wasn't fooled.
Camel was not fooled.
We were excited about losing too.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love you all in 732, but I'm not ever gonna sit out again. Let's sit there and watch these battles go on and not being able to do anything. I'm just like, oh, this is torture.
Yeah, but one of the other issues because Groot is an absolute maniac, is that out of our top 15, I would say about 10 of the top 15 didn't play because they just out of the respect they have for you guys. So whereas you guys had, your number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 all playing, we literally, I literally had 3 attacks and 5 defenses only.
Yeah, see,
So
there really wasn't much attacking going on. Period. It's like you guys are really good at bubbling and hiding your troops, and from what I've seen, that our nation is as well. But it sucks going against friendly nations because especially in Void Frenzy, you go all out because you're gonna get your troops back. But Void, I mean.
I would say without the top 5, SPT was extremely aggressive, way more aggressive than I expected. No one ever comes into our hive at all, ever. I mean, the Beast did, you did. I have a handful of guys. That's about it. AOM, they're maxed out C41, but no one even dares come in there. And we had that one city unbubbled, and I couldn't believe you had like 17 or 20 cities flying in within the first 2 minutes. And you, ironically, were right. You ported right on the hive, so we felt like you were definitely directing your alliance.
Well, I mean,
there goes Woody. There goes Woody.
I mean, I was telling him, stuff. Don't get me wrong, because I can't. We made that agreement that I wouldn't attack, but doesn't mean I wasn't going to tell him, give him tips. I was expecting you guys to be doing the same.
Our guys weren't even logged on. They were like, it was too much. They're like, we're never going to log on. It's too much. We can't play. I don't want to know.
You know what? Sometimes that's the case. If you're getting overwhelmed, if you're in Void and you're getting overwhelmed by the other nation, and your alliance and your nation just can't get that many people online, and no matter what you do, your points can't move. Just fucking bubble up and call it a day. No reason to continue to lose your troops if there's no matter what you do, it's just going downhill. Just bubble up and call it a day.
Groot messaged me because I couldn't understand. We had that small lead for, I would say, 3/4 of Void. And then all of a sudden, Groot started really pulling ahead. And, I looked at all our battle reports, and you guys, like I said, you guys were very aggressive. And you guys took a lot of losses. You won that Void, but the troop losses were massive.
Yeah, they were.
I was looking at some reports. They were just, I was like, all right, they won, but, we really weren't taking. We had a few of them. I know the other alliances, which we're going through right now. Their bubbles dropped, and Groot was telling me, he's like, yeah, we caught a couple cities in the other 3rd and 4th alliances sleeping, and he's like, that's how I got all my points. Because I was like, I couldn't understand where he was getting all these points from, and
he was catching them from ABS.
I don't know if your audience knows or not. I got to give that man credit. Getting first place in Void. Playing 2 nations, that's not easy.
Yeah, he got
first place
in both
in
nations.
737. Yep, both nations. He got first place in Void. So definitely kudos to Groot.
Yeah, that's
it's not easy.
Groot. I'm happy we picked him up in 736. I know that, but I know he's going.
He's wild.
He's going through some tough times in 737 over there.
Yeah.
From what I can read, I'll log in there, 737. I'll read your nation chat. If they they're trying to organize it, but at the same time, once they start getting a little bit of organized, they just blow it again. And
now you said that your nation faced them in Void or Frenzy.
We faced them in Void and Frenzy. Me and Groot during the Void, we both sat out.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and him sat out. I was actually going to a stand-up comedy show for my birthday, and he was busy with his wife at the casino. I think it was. So we are just like, fuck it, let's just sit out, let the kids play. And I always use that expression, sitting out and let the kids play. And we're all adults here, but like.
Yeah. Listen, yes. Let's be realistic. Especially in the 700 nations, there's only a handful of you guys at your level. So everybody else is, without a question, a kid.
Well, I think the reason why when you have the top players sit out, I think the reason why people get real active is because there's a good opportunity that they can get the Void Tyrant.
Oh, 100%. Listen, I know Groot was smelling that. Trust me.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah. And I think this frenzy. Who is that? They got the background going on. Hey, Wolf from 965. You want to hit the mic? Mute your mic. 965
And
Wolf.
to be honest, Woody, Frenzy to get Frenzy Master, you're spending 400-500K gold minimum. You know, because Frenzy, the scores are so much more inflated. You know, Void, you could have a good disciplined nation versus nation and have a couple of great defenses. You know, and you know you have a legitimate chance to get the top spot. Frenzy Master is you got to play for a long, as you know, you got to play a long time.
Yeah, I mean, frenzy always costs me more than
Yes, of course.
Void does because of the towers. I'm gonna say in general because of the towers because I
Yeah.
use those towers as traps. They see if the enemy sees someone in there, they send there trying to kick them out. I withdraw and speed back in. That's my gig. I love doing that.
You must use 500-600K gold easy
Well,
when you go all out on Frenzy.
I got 342,000 now, and it's gonna get up. I'll probably double that, and I might use it all in frenzy.
Yeah, exactly.
And as for like speeds or heals, I got about 100 days right now, but they'll probably all go bye bye. Oh, get to fuse this one. I got a couple hundred 50s and 25s, but I mean, I'm gonna walk in with in frenzy with 500 each. That's just it's a given. You got to if you plan
Well,
on.
you saved a lot. You saved a lot of gold and speeds, just skipping Void. So
Yeah, but I used them in Polar Invasion and Elite War the very next day.
so what were your impressions against 7-Eleven in Polar?
They're strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys beat
It's
us.
it's
You guys
it's definitely a nation. It's definitely a nation to keep an eye on. Like I said, things are getting strained out, but there's a lot of power.
You guys just got your second merger too, right?
Yep, a lot of power.
A lot of power there in the activity. See, like my nation 736, half my nation is from across the pond. Actually, majority of the nation is from different Europe and stuff like that. So
Right.
the times that polar invasion is, people are asleep. People are either at work or asleep. They're just
Right.
they're not active.
Right.
And I mean, I can't sit there and tell my alliance, no, you need to be there. I don't care if I don't care if it's 4 o'clock in the morning. You need to wake. No, fuck that. Real life comes first.
And listen, even in that event, I saw you speeding in, and as strong as you are, when you have 5 or 10 other cities, and then you have 2 strong C41s also going in, it makes it tough for you. Because I was watching those battles, and you were speeding in, and then the 2 or 3 C41s from 7-Eleven sped in, and obviously you weren't going to win. So even as strong as you are, when you're getting countered by other C41s, it makes it tough on you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You can't do it yourself anymore.
Right. No, definitely not.
Like I think here's one right here, 1v7. I lost that one, but I'll say that if I'm speeding in there, I'm gonna eat troops. So like you guys I'm gonna go through heals. You're gonna go through heals.
100%.
I don't know how many heals it costs you guys, and I apologize. But I mean that's.
No, but I mean, you saw Nedwin and Keltazar. I feel like they were stalking you every time you were speeding. You saw them too, just flying into wherever you went.
That's what you have to do that.
And it worked. It absolutely worked.
Yeah, when you are going against a mega whale, such as cities like as mine or League God or whatnot,
right.
You gotta have your top players.
100%.
You gotta have them shadow them. If they go somewhere, they gotta send them, and that goes in Void too, or GC at that matter. For instance, when I went up against 926, and we were planning on knocking him out, I waited every time that he sent, I sent. I made sure that he was not going the 726 or top.
726, yeah, yes, they're maxed out. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
They're maxed out C41.
Yeah.
He got to the point where he stopped and he went to the other side and he just stood by one of the small towers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
he was flying in everywhere, and I remember you were countering him, and then eventually, I guess he's just like, yeah, it's not worth it.
I mean that's what you got to do. I mean, you can't just sit around and expect 20 people, like for saying GC at that matter. One person can knock 20 people out. I don't know why it seems like Polar Invasion, you're weaker than GC. I have no clue why. Maybe it's because that they're able to get the T13s into troops as well, like Ironblood is.
Yeah, that's definitely one. Yeah, 100%.
But you got to do that. You guys did it to me, and you guys were able to hold that lead. So
yeah, 'cause you were actually cutting into that lead. I noticed that. I saw it. Everyone was like, "Oh, there goes Woody." You saw your name flying across the board. It was going right to left for us. And then all of a sudden, having the other C41s to counter. Once they started doing it, the score, you guys were catching up. It just kind of like flatlined for you.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, you gave away the center.
I don't want to talk about that. We gave her, we had the center literally the whole fucking time, and then at the end,
entire event,
and in the end, you guys were able to take him out.
It was the I think it was Phoenix or PHX Alliance. I don't even know what nation that was.
Yeah, it was the 500 nation, or I think I have it still.
Yep.
Yeah, they were able to knock me out, but you guys, they had like 40 people coming, and I'm like, well, guys, you guys need to get in here now, and well, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, but you had K138. I saw him playing.
K was playing, yeah.
Yeah.
But
he's a monster.
Yeah, Hellfish was not able to play. He was busy with his family. But I mean, Polar Invasion, I look at it this way, man. You guys are going to go up against so many hard nations that you might win the first couple, but then they're going to match you up with like a nation like 555 with their #1 alliance, or 219 against Sin. I mean, you're going to get knocked down. I'm surprised these 1,000 nations and these 1,100 nations are still sitting up there in like first, second place, and they haven't dragged them down to like our area. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet, because
Those nations are growing at a rate that's ridiculous.
That fast?
Yes, I just stopped playing in 1179, and I mean, everybody just started spending. You're talking about 4 months old, 3 months old. Everybody's like C32, C34. There might be a C36 by now. Everybody was like hitting C30 within like 2 months.
Which nations are, in the 1100s would be considered to be like a whale nation? I really don't know anything about the 1100s and the 1200s. I'm trying to get my fingers into there, but it takes time.
The 1100 nations, the top guys, their titans are all in the millions now. They're over $1 million now, and you're talking about 3 months into existence. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
No, I'm wondering this. Maybe the older nations that are in here, they can answer this. If the opportunity of items, uranium, so on and so forth, was offered back in your nation back then, was offered as much as it is in the 1100s and these newer nations, would you guys be way farther than you are now, or would like how much you actually spend in the game still be where you're at now?
Oh, we'd be way further ahead.
Would you?
Well, I mean, uranium's so much easier to get now. For starters, the uranium gobbler that didn't exist until like a year ago.
Yeah,
or 2 years ago. Just for example, there's that they didn't give out. What else was there? There's like a bunch of new stuff that the new players get. I started a new city in another nation at one point, just as like a spy city kind of thing, and then there was like.
It's like they're throwing stuff at you, right?
16 or whatever. You can buy speed ups to unlock the Titans faster. There's a bunch of stuff, and like Titans didn't even exist when I started. So
when I first started, the male Titan just came out. Like it just came out. I think it was like a month in, and then I started in the 300s. So I kind of know what you're talking about. Yeah. And
I think C34 came out a few months after I started, which means I started the game before uranium existed.
Yeah, yeah. I started when 35 was the top.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days. Like seriously, those were the good old days where everyone was active, and if you get hit, yeah, it hurt. You might lose 100,000, maybe 200,000 troops. Now, hey, you're talking about millions of troops.
Yeah.
Big difference nowadays. Um, Maria's talking about asking me to bring the tower conversation back. Um, I know that was like 20 minutes ago, but what exactly kind of conversation you want to talk about with the towers, Maria?
Bring tower to void. To void.
Ooh,
That's what I'm hoping for.
that would be that would be interesting.
And you're literally the first person that I have heard that loves towers just as much as I do. I always get, I hate tower. I hate tower.
Well, in reality, towers in my eyes were meant for the whales, unless you got a lot of numbers online, um, because the whales they can take out quite a bit. Um, but
Hmm.
but if you have numbers, you can take that whale out. But putting towers and void, that would be interesting.
It would be more fun because so many people now are just shielding and hiding versus actually being active. Like you were talking about, like back in the day, how we used to play. I remember I'm still have PTSD for you from you and Rams.
Sorry.
But like that was actually when we were actually out hunting and actually killing. Now people hide too much during Void. Brain Tower to Void would literally make it more fun.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah,
I think
but not
And a
everybody's
lot
still
of
going to
people.
participate
Yeah.
because
I
they're
think
going to
she's
lose
got a good
troops.
point though. I think she's got a good point because the nations that just they're T4 nations, that kind of stuff. They would have a lot harder time actually winning if there were towers.
So,
You're not going to get the participation like in Frenzy. People are going to lose troops, and a lot of guys do not like losing troops. Trust me.
well, that's a problem, though. I
But
mean,
they're playing the wrong game.
if they're scared to lose troops, I mean, I'm not talking about losing every troop you have, but like, for say, if you're a 34 or 35, you're in void. I would say at that time, maybe losing 2 or 3 million BP is about average, for a void to lose. Go up and down right around that time. You can stay where you should be, where you can still hide your troops uh, the next month. Um, but like I mean, that 2 to 3 million BP. I mean, that's a lot of troops that you can lose and you can play with. Uh, but those that are scared to even lose 100,000 troops, I mean, come on. Especially if you're a 41. I've seen a couple nations that have 41s with literally they got 20 million kills. Like, what are you
Yeah,
doing? What are you doing?
but
Mm-hmm.
all right. So for me,
What would they make the
100K
void
troops
tower?
in the Void Hospital is $150 for me. A lot of players ain't spending $150
Well,
to buy a Void potion.
well, here comes the point that I've always say and I suggest. Okay, hold on, I gotta
Hold on.
find whoever that is and mute them. I don't know who or what that was, but like
Tell us to get
in guys in void, um, those void potions, and I'm not gonna ever say to spend because it's a game. But if you're going to spend and you're going to be active, um, at least $20 of void potions every void. And even if you don't use them, just do it because there's going to be that day that you get hit. And if you gradually spend the 20, you get them saved, and you get hit, it's gonna add up to the point where whew, thank God I have a million void potions in reserve, versus well shit now I need 2 million void potions because I have none.
Woody, you're just preaching to the choir like me every day. Trust me.
Well, I understand that, but there's a lot of people that don't do it. Same thing,
Exactly, they're not.
same thing with the Titans vitality. Every day you should be going in there, whether you use it or not, and just go up to 600 every day. Just go to 600. Let that add
You know
up.
what I do? You know what I do to when it's coming to events? You see that gold package, that weekly gold package?
Yeah, that
That's
the
what I use. That's what I buy to boost my Titans vitality when it comes to events. I just use that gold to boost their vitality, and I fight the whole void.
I'm
So,
sorry.
guys, just a question.
Sorry if you hear the background. I got fireworks going on right now in my town. So,
Why should we keep the vitality up full?
I'll tell you exactly why. If you're gonna go send, let's say you got a speed attack coming up, right? And you're out of vitality, and your Titans. We all know Titans are your bread and butter. Without your Titans, you're literally just might as well just send T4s because they're gonna get eaten up. If you run out of that, the cost is gonna be like what 500 to 600 versus a 300.
Especially in Frenzy, Woody.
Especially
you definitely need that. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
so for me it was less about the cost of the gold and more about the it becoming a problem when you're trying to move quickly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant. Like when you're trying to send, it's good to have it ready versus oh shit, and taking that extra 3 seconds to buy or 5 seconds to buy more just so you have it, and then you only got 100, and which will go in what 10 hits. I mean, 10 hits can last. It can be 5 minutes. You know, like 10.
5 minutes, yeah.
Like
$25 give you almost 40,000 gold a week.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
$25.
Woody, if you don't raise it pre-frenzy, you can run out.
Oh yeah,
I've done it quite a few times.
Also-
where like I was out. That was it. Done.
So have I. That's why you see me. I'm at 20. I'm at about
Yeah.
3,000 now because I will raise it all every day, and you'll use them, Void and Frenzy. You're gonna use the hell out of them. Every time you send, you're taking 10 off there, and especially if let's say if it's a heavy city and you can beat it, and you're sending multiple fleets to zero it out. Not multiple, like multiple speeds in and the same Titans every single time. You're gonna eat that up real quick.
Oh yeah. I've had 3 hours left in Frenzy, and I was out. Done. Couldn't buy no more.
I've seen some people make mistakes. Per se, like someone's been zeroed out and they got a whole bunch of resources, right? Which I don't ever suggest anyone to go farming for resources in Void because there's such thing called resource traps out there, and my nation will set it. But they'll pour it over there like a 36, pour over there and start sending their Titans to gather resources. Like, what are you doing? Well, you're using vitality every single time. Like, if you're going to be that person that's going to try to collect resources, and again, I don't suggest ever doing that. If you're going to do it, use your farms with those T4s. But if you are going to be doing that, send your Titans that first fleet with your Titans.
Woody, answer this one about that topic. AOM. Obviously, they have monsters, maxed out C41s.
Yeah.
We faced them in Void a couple of months ago in 732, and we caught the maxed out C41 and another C41 clearing resources. Like they literally, and that's how we caught one of the C41s. They were clearing resources.
Bro.
Explain to me how a maxed out AOM C41 needs resources.
I'll tell you exactly why.
Lop nations are greedy for resources.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what
my
you kill Lop
God.
nations.
Well,
Wow.
Lop nations love resources,
That's
bro. They will kill
insane.
for farms.
Well, you guys got to think about it like this, okay? Block nations, they have like 9 nations, 12 nations, 15 nations in
Wow.
there, right? So
That's insane.
imagine your nation that's only got 2 nations in there. Well, imagine adding 9 more nations worth into one nation. So everyone there, and they have their farms too, is trying to get resources. So a lot of the times, that's why Lock Nations are in civil wars, because there is no resources there. They will use Void as farming.
Woody, I was in shock. I think I might have even recorded it. And I looked at, he was that maxed out guy on AOM. That maxed out. He's a monster.
Yeah. He might not even care about his troops either.
No, I couldn't believe he poured it over, and it was a C-34. And his troops were out, and he just kept. He was literally clearing them out for resources.
He'd hit him, he'd lose his troops, and he'd just keep going, right? That's the only time they can actually get big resources or like a big hit from Civil War.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of why they do that, because that's the only thing that makes sense. And they won't fight. They won't really attack a city. in Void, but they sure will defend.
Oh, they
Like,
defend.
like if they catch you solo, yeah, they'll attack you like that. But if
They
they,
defend in massive numbers.
yeah, like
That's their thing.
I think we hit 726 and they defended with like 35. And of course, I hit retreat right away. But I stayed away from that alliance at that point.
Yeah. JYX. Yeah, they got some
JY, yeah,
monsters there.
I stayed away from
Yeah.
that alliance at that point, unless we
They got.
had 30 online at that. I remember we
Mm-hmm.
did do one hit, but we had 30 online and they had 70. So I was like, well, okay, we're
Yeah.
just gonna have to stay away from there. Some of those monster nations, I mean, if you're going up against a monster nation that has a monster alliance and you know there's nothing you can do with it, stay away from them.
Yeah. That's the best advice.
Get your points elsewhere, because
Mm-hmm.
they if they can't find points and you're not sending to them, they can't do anything but speed attack an empty city. And they just
Mm-hmm.
watch their second alliance give the points away. And yeah, regardless, they're going to get in civil war afterwards because their second alliance is giving the points away. But that's kind of the plan that you have to do against those mega alliances that you know you can't beat. Stay away from them. Like, enter with caution kind of stuff. Don't pour into their hive and stay unbubbled. I promise you, that ain't gonna go well. I'm sure you guys hear the fireworks in the background. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
No.
Do we have any more questions? Let's see, going into the chat. I still have to read the YouTube chats. I've neglected to look at that, and I apologize. Let me go into YouTube chat real quick. 700 versus 785. That's going to be a tough one for them. I see David. Just David's here. Cool. Always love that guy. 823 is second oldest nation without merger. 823 hasn't got a single merge yet? What? That's weird.
There's like 10 nations in the 800s that haven't got their merge yet, in the lower 800s.
Really?
I think there's only 10 left. And one of them is 799. Is it 799 or 79 something?
So I think you're thinking of Cash. Cash's nation hasn't got merged yet. 799 is Beast, and they've already had their first merger. But Cash's nation has not got one yet.
779.
779, yeah, he has
Yeah,
not.
779.
They haven't got merged yet, so I'm assuming they're probably going to be close to being merged soon, real soon. Might be the next one. Not saying it's going to. Don't hold that, to me by stone. But I mean, if they're like one of the only nations left to get a single merge, and all these other 700 nations got a double merge already, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Whether they get who they want, that's a different story.
I mean, they should just finish up the rest of the 800s already, and start finishing up the early 900s on the next one. That's what I would think would be a good idea.
Well, I mean, think about it as a business point of view. Okay, if you merge all these nations right off the bat, every single time they ask, what's going to happen? They're going to run out of nations to merge. You know what I mean? I mean, the newer nations are not being built as fast as the older nations was built when they were new. And that's my theory, and this is just a thought in my theory of why they went from a 3-nation merge down to a 2-nation merge, is because they would run out of nations to merge if they continue to do 3-nation merges. So they bumped it down to 2. That's just my theory. It can be 100% wrong. So don't hold it to me, but just watching how things are going, it slowed down the mergers by jumping down to 2-nation mergers versus 3, to where they can take their time.
Yeah, but if they take too long, they lose a lot of players from quitting. Right? It's a
Yeah.
really delicate situation.
Well, I mean, okay. People say they're gonna quit unless they get what they want. Okay, that's the teenager theory. That's I know it sounds bad, but that's what teenagers do. But they don't quit. And if they do quit, they're gonna quit whether they got merged or not. Uh, many nations will say, "I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit if I don't get my way." Well, my 13-year-old says stuff like that, but they still continue to play.
I mean, I can't speak for the thousands. I really have no idea why they're crying
I
for a
don't
merge. It's
know.
absolutely ridiculous.
They have no
But
clue what they're doing up there.
the early 900s, we're
Yeah, you're about
1 year and 6 months, so we're ready.
yeah, you're about that. That's right around when you want to start looking for a merger. It's about a year and a half is when you start looking to get your first merger. Not no 3 months in. I mean, good God, 3 months in, you barely got your first void. Like,
I don't even
See,
know. No,
Woody,
I think it's a little more than
see,
3 months.
Woody,
It's
you're the one
six
to be
months.
blamed for all this stuff because you're feeding too much information into these guys right now. Before I came on your podcast, I wasn't crying for a merger. I played for a whole year before I got a merger. I wasn't thinking about a merger. But now everybody's watching your podcast. You feeding them all this information, and
Power
they're
of
like,
Woody.
exactly. So
blame
now they're
Woody.
like, oh, for me to get stronger, I need a merger. Even if I just started playing 2 months ago and my strongest cities are C22,
No,
they
see
need a merger.
that's the thing that people don't understand is that just because just because you get a merger doesn't mean you're gonna get a freaking super mega freaking nation that you're gonna beat everyone. That doesn't mean anything. When you get a merger, you just added whatever garbage the other nation has. Like when I say garbage, I mean like leakers and stuff like that. And now you put it in. Now you got two nations of garbage. So getting that getting a merger that early and you haven't even cleaned your own nation yet, man, you're gonna make it so easy for a non-merged nation to fucking whoop your butt. Excuse my language, but it's
They
true.
don't know that until they experience it.
Yeah, but they also don't realize that once they get merged, they're no longer going to be really fighting non-merged nations anymore. They're going to be fighting other merged nations.
Right.
It doesn't.
This is the line that they like to use up there. Well, we can't compete, and it's like one of two things, right? It's either you're not consolidating and you're not working with what you got to make your nation better, or you just got a junk nation, and it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. Like, if you're gonna if you're gonna tell your VIP or start saying, well, we can't compete, and you're in the thousands or 1100s nations, and I hope they don't take that the wrong way because if you can't compete, then something's going on in your nation. Because in that new of a nation, thousands or 1100s and 1200s, we'll just leave it at that. You should be able to compete. You know what I mean? You should be able to. You might not be able to compete against the LAC nations, but in all reality, very few double merged nations can compete against the LAC nations. There might be a few that can, but not all of them. I know I can't. I can't compete against that. But I can compete against all the other nations around us. It's how you grow your city, how you control your own nation, will set the standard if you can and cannot compete. If you don't have a whale or huge spenders in your nation, but you got 60 people who are going to send, use that to your advantage. Have those 60 people send at a single city. Now you can compete. Get everyone in your nation that's strong into one alliance. Now you can compete. Sorry, Gerbil. I seen that coming. But that's.
I mean, Woody, I get it too. Like these guys are complaining because you have nations, 6 months old, T41 with like 1,300 attacks. So I get it, but those players just have to be patient and focus on their own cities and wait it out because he won't be that much of a difference maker when it comes to the future.
that's true. That is true. But I mean, you got to also think about this. You can't blame camel for another nation having a whale, a super whale. You can't blame camel for that.
Nope.
That's just the timing that the guy joined in the game. This is timing. You can look at your nation and see if you're a farm nation, and if you are, you can just say, you know what? I think I'm just going to go to a nation that does have whales, that does have active fighting players, and start there. You can do that. I mean, if you're a 30, I want to say like 34. If you're a 34, it's time to figure out what kind of nation you're in before you start dropping. Sorry about the fireworks, guys.
I mean, I don't want to mean any disrespect to any whale, but
No.
this is just speaking from experience. A lot of the whale nations, they're honestly not that great, especially in kill event. I mean, they can win DOD, Triangle Wars, they can win all those events with their money, but we fought nations that have no whales, and they're absolutely way better, way more mad crazy at fighting than whale nations. So it's like, I don't know what people are complaining about. You know what I mean?
It's because they have to be. They have to.
But it's all, I love it. I love fighting nations. You know what I mean? They always make the best ones.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Kind of super excited about fighting 552 in this frenzy because like I said, I went into their nation chat and they got many reports to have 20, 30 people in there. So I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna fight. Sweet, I'm happy. You know, it's not gonna be countless hours of looking for a bubble to drop. So, Swaggy Waggy said, as usual, Woody avoids the question. Woody's not looking at the second screen. I apologize, Swaggy Waggy. How much have you spent, Woody? I've dropped 50K myself. Swaggy Waggy, we try not to really talk about as much money as we've spent in the game because that's kind of personal. I get, when you spend money, you got a big city. I get that, it's kind of like, hey, guys, I just dropped all this money. I get that. But as for, especially like myself, I don't really want to go advertising exactly how much I've spent into this mobile game, if that makes sense. That's for Americans, that's kind of an insult when you ask us how much we spend. Like, how much do you make it work? It's honestly, it's none of your business. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, yeah. Christopher says we are having an issue not being competitive due to not being merged. This is exactly what we're talking about. We used to be above average nation, now not so much. Above average nation, and I'm going to ask you: at what point did you consider your nation to be above average? What was the wall? What city level was the wall that you hit? The wall usually is C34. As soon as you hit C34, you find out who your spenders are. That's the honest to God truth. But I don't know. I hate talking about spenders so much, but I mean they're so relevant in every conversation that it comes out. Awkward. I'm gonna read. Iron Blood for me is 5 hours, and I have no money or Iron Blood diamonds. Does that matter, or will I still rank high? So in Iron Blood, guys, I really don't go Iron Blood too hard, because it's always too close to, like when GC comes, Iron Blood will be the day before GC. So you can literally drop everything you have in Iron Blood, all your speeds, all your voids, all your heals. You can drop it in Iron Blood, and then you still got void the very next day, kind of gig. So for me, I'll go just enough to make the first round, and then I log out. Kill my troops, get my points, and log out. That way you're still getting the merits in each round, and you just log out. Is first place, that skin worth it? I mean, no. It's not. That skin is not worth the money that you spend to compete in Iron Blood. It's not.
Yeah, Woody, I think it's 28,000 points, and that'll get you into round 3 with all the merit.
Yeah, it's not much.
I think it's 28,000 points you need, and you can get
It's more.
Yeah, all the is it more?
16
Yeah,
million.
it's
16
64
million.
million.
Yeah,
You
but
need like
Oh,
64
16.
million to
yeah, but
get
that's
through all the
16.
what am I
rounds.
thinking? So it's not Iron Blood I'm thinking of then.
yeah, but
It's
Yeah,
64.
16.
you thinking about probably what's that? The polar shit. Yeah,
Yeah, but 64 million guys. That's not hard
It's
to achieve.
16, Woody. 16. 8
16
million a
brings you to
Oh,
the
8 million.
round.
I thought it was 28
16
million.
It's
brings
8.
you to the second round, but
Yeah,
you
It's
gotta
8
make
million
more
a
than
round,
it's
16.
brother.
28 million. So it's 20. I
Yeah,
said 20. It's 28 million. Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's 8
so you
million
can
a round.
yeah you can get into that round like for instance what I do like I said I'll go hard on the heavy the first round, hit a couple people, and then I'll leave troops in my city. And usually by the third round I'm emptied out. But I mean I've always made the third round by doing it, like, and I
You
get
could just leave your city and you'll get 28, whatever it is, 20
yeah
million, 30 million.
yeah you can just leave your city
You just
there.
leave your city open. Right.
You guys are gonna be so surprised in these like the older nations. That's what a lot of them do. They just log in there and log back out. They put their city in there and they get full merits. Like,
Heyo.
what's that? Someone said KO
I
knockout.
was I, I was just trying to say like I agree. That's what I do.
I mean, it's. I mean, people were doing that
Shit
in.
ain't worth it.
People did that in Chaos Land too, all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're gonna go all out, I mean, if you want to be that, number one,
I'm
uh,
not doing that in Chaos Land. I'm fighting all out.
yeah,
Fuck
well,
that.
well, Chaos Land
Yeah.
comes
Well,
comes every what 3 times a year, maybe 4 times a year, unless you get merged. So I mean,
That's why you gotta
yeah,
enjoy it.
that's. I mean, Chaos. I do like Chaos Land more than I like um, all the other ones. I really do enjoy Chaos Land because that's you can bring everything you have there. Um, so
I like the buying stuff of Iron Blood more than the Chaos stuff. Just because like there's no essential packs for Chaos, but the Iron Blood stuff, I generally always buy the 9.99, which will give you like what is it?
the full
It's
fleet.
either 80. It's either like 80 or 110 for your items, if you will. And then you always get like some badge stuff. So it's like 4 or 5 or 6. I think it's 4. Um, and then your first pack of health, and then your first pack of speeds. And I essentially always do that. If people aren't doing that, it's kind of like why not?
Well, I
You know,
mean,
like chaos lane. I don't think you can have the packs
but
for
Chaos
that. And then
Chaos
yeah,
Chaos Land gives the best merits.
oh yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
They give the best merits. So I mean, um, that's like one of the things I love Chaos Land. I will never go the other way of Chaos Land. I'll go all out. I love it. If I can, if I'm not working, I'm 100% in. So if we have Chaos Land with each
Yeah,
other, I'm going all in. You're gonna have to hit me, my 20 million troops to kill me, and I will heal
yeah.
them.
Yeah, yeah, and Polar you can't do that. People are like, "Oh, I just sit in there and forget it." Like, oh yeah, but nobody ever attacks like the main base. Like that doesn't happen. Like it's not a thing. So if you just place it in there, you're kind of like just wasting your time just to put them in there because it doesn't work like that.
No, yeah, it doesn't
You know,
work like that. Yeah,
and
you have to actually be active in Polar.
yeah, but if you at least have, maybe say whatever your stats are, if you have at least like 6 attacks or 6 defenses in Polar, you should at least make the threshold for that first barrier of your first merit, which is, what, 300 or 400, I think it is, somewhere around there. Like, that's not a bad one either. And I fucking hate Polar.
Well, I mean, in Polar, Polar, all you gotta look, guys. You gotta look and see who the ranking board is. Like, who's the number one? Are you gonna be able to compete against these guys? Think about it. Right? Are you guys gonna really be able to compete against these guys? I mean, the 1100s. I'll tell you, if you're a 700, 600, and stuff like that, you're never gonna see these guys. I don't care who you are. You're not gonna see them. The 1100s. They're just too new. Um, you're never gonna see them. So, but you start looking at, are you gonna be able to beat any of these top guys? And if you're not, just going for your individual points. Like
Yeah.
2.8 million, and you get the rewards for the individual season points, and they're decent. I mean, they're decent. Just try to get the 2.8 and go from there. Like put it this way, I was able to get 1.4 in one round. Did I go heavy? I did. It was this last one. I went real heavy. I spent the entire time. Um, but I'm 100,000 away from not even need to show up for the next couple. Save my money for the save my money. So it's not. I'll probably show up. Still, I do like Polar Invasion, but it's not cheap. We all know that it's not. Um, but it's fun. I'll give it to Camel. I like it. Don't like the matchups, but I like it.
I'd slow walk the whole event. I don't care. No, not one speed.
You'll slow walk the whole event.
The whole event.
Man, that's
We
so
do too, and we fifth.
that's so hard to do. Slow walk.
I'll slow walk the whole event. What I'll
I
try to do is I'll try to get to the base, like the tile closest to the next base, and just leave my troops and defend the whole time.
That's so hard to do. I think that
I
might be
Woody, I like to slow walk the first maybe 30 minutes, and then depending on who you're playing, what the score is looking like, start heating up as you get closer to the last 30 minutes.
Oh, so
That's
so
how I
so
do
towards the
it.
middle.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
We slow walk most of the time, and we rank six. We don't use speed. Maybe at the end because if you win the defensive battle at the end, they'll kick out some of your troops. So we got to speed back to get back to defend it again. But other than that, we don't use speeds at all.
Really?
At all.
Who are you guys seeing in Polar Invasion, like nation wise?
Uh,
Are you seeing like Nation
I think
2 and
we played the 700. We played strong nations, but we haven't seen 555 or you yet. But we rank six. We playing strong nations. We playing 41s. But it, we got a lot of people. What do you know? We
yeah,
showing up to polar 70, not 80, 88 deep. It
no,
can get
you are
crazy,
right. You
man.
are right. You guys do got enough cities to go deep. 88 deep. I don't care. Even as a 41 with you know with my stats, those kind of people that walk in, you can only eat so much. You know, and that's facts. It looks like Nation 2 Kitten. He's been playing 5, 6, 7 in Polar. Um, so I mean you're talking about multiple 41s. My question would be like, let's say that God, if you went against a nation that had like multiple 41s, even if you had the numbers, and I mean they had like 6, 7 41s, would you guys still be able to knock them out, or would there be a point where even with those kind of numbers, it's just not going to help?
It's not that I believe that, Woody. We haven't ran across that where we talking 641. That I don't think our numbers can beat that because we don't have the bottom strength yet. Everybody's not a 34,
Right.
and we don't have a 41 ourselves. So I don't think we could beat that. But one or two, and you only got 25 people. I don't think we gonna deal with 88 people. Gonna deal with you. We pulling up.
Right. I I, I think that I think you guys might be 923, zero whales, um, but very active. Let me ask you something. Do all your players have multiple farms? Like, do they all have 10 or more farms?
I don't think they all have 10 or more. I know.
Do do yourself a
I,
favor. Talk to your nation and rotor, rooter, and have them all not even log into their farms for a month.
we
Just
just did. We just did that. We just did that, Woody.
okay.
We literally just did that, and we got skipped on the merge. Like we just did that, bro.
Well, I mean, it takes more than just like a month of doing that. Like, there's nations out there that they don't buy a single thing. They don't log into even their main. They don't do the Doom Iron the Iron Fist guy. They don't do the girl or even the dailies for the zombies. They don't do any of that for months. Like they make that freaking nation look empty. Um, I don't know. It's hard to say because I would like to see you guys get a decent merger, um, and then be able to go against you guys in some other events. That'd be nice. Um, as long as they ain't no kill event. I don't like really going against friends. Uh,
Now you know what's crazy? We fighting Bryce. We fight Bryce in frenzy. Like so, we finally get to fight him. He was asking for it, and we
I
get to
was
fight.
not asking for it for frenzy.
you.
Man, watch out, man. He's gonna fucking swing that. He's gonna swing that shaving cream can at you.
Their participation will definitely be the game changer. But we're two friend nations. We respect each other. We really enjoy each other. So this is just gonna be an old fashioned friend fight. We'll try to set up some big fights for the tower. Send everybody the videos or screenshots. So I think
Boy,
it's
I
gonna be
mean,
fun.
it's frenzy, dude. Both your nations go all out. It's frenzy. You're not losing anything. Test each other's nations. Um, Test you guys out. Like it's not void.
It's gonna be a bubble. It's gonna be a bubble fest. A whole lot of blank cities getting hit. Woody, like really, the only action probably is gonna be in the towers because they know how to fight. We know how to fight. Is we gonna
And
wait for bubble drops.
I had to inform my nation, like, you're gonna see what real participation looks like. You know what I mean? They're gonna roll with 60, maybe more, but I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be right around 60. So
Can
it
you
will be
can
fun. I don't think we'll be able to match that participation, but I mean, I'm gonna fight them. I'm gonna try.
right? Are you gonna be able to? Are you gonna be able to match that participation though? Like if they do send something like that?
No, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people won't take the time off or whatever. Whatever their reasons is, they just don't want to dedicate a few hours. So it is what it is. We'll just get who we can and we'll try our best. That's all we can do. But I mean, we're not going to stand down and bend over. We're going to try.
Well, yeah. Don't just take it like up the butt like that. I mean, don't do that.
Woody,
Um,
I definitely to backtrack a little bit. I definitely think there is something to that, to every nation's like maturity level, if you will, like how long they've been there, their competitive level, and this, that, and the other, who they've got there, who they've not got there, and
Right.
essentially we've never had a whale, whether it be 386 and then now 385, through my mergers, if you will. To a certain point, we actually did all the people in the main alliances, and we've always been like low as far as the number of main alliances, that are actually scoring points in Void and
Right.
Frenzy and this, that, and the other. Um, we were finally to a point, probably well over a year and a half ago, being like, hey, if you do have, because like one dude, we used to call him like the governor, if you will, because the dude had like a fucking duplex of farms, like,
Right.
and he wasn't like selling the stuff. He just, it was something to keep himself busy,
Hmm.
and he was like another commando kitten, It was just something he did. Um, and we were like, hey, hey, yeah, if you've got this, like, delete it, delete this, unappoint this. And I do think the active amount of participants in an active nation or unactive nation, whatever you want to call it, but just like in every server, I do think that has some kind of, you know, part of contribution to the equation of the what one guy I think a while ago called it the camel cookbook, if you will. Like I think there's something to be had there. Because forever, you know, like in both nations I play in now, I'm just like, yo, I need a bio farm, and then some people are, oh, I need a bio farm. Like, hey, one world I can get you, the other one I can't, But yeah, I've been running one for ever. Like you don't need more than others. Like I think even League God said it the other night. He was like, "Yeah, if you need something bad enough, I'll send all my stuff to Doomsday. Just make sure you time it to where I'm not getting back while you're cleaning me."
Right.
Like it's because if you're not spending to a certain level, you don't need resources more than you do, uranium. So yeah, I mean,
Oh, by a certain time, the
yeah,
resources they just come. I'm
yeah,
getting I'm
yeah. I
getting
mean,
I'm getting word in the YouTube chat that my stuff is lagging, and it's been lagging. Remember someone saying that the they wanted me to change it my YouTube to 1080 so they can see it better and clear and stuff like that. Well, I did that, and now my YouTube lags. Like it skips, so it's like, ugh.
You you should just start saying thanks. We'll forward your comments on to our developers.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Blame it on Grim. Blame it on Grim. Like Grim sets all my stuff up. You know, it's his fault.
Grim, I'm gonna blame you. Just to let you know you're being blamed, brother.
I've heard worse things from better people.
Grim, you suck.
That's like worse
Grim,
than
you
bad.
suck.
But thank you.
What's up, Johnny?
What's up, man?
Local 323 for tuning in from Nation 1117. Well, so that's 1100. So, I mean, if he's tuning into this, then he obviously heard about us talking about, hey, look, you're way too young to be looking for a merger, and I would definitely wait a year, a year and a half. You know what I mean? So wait a year, year and a half, and then start looking for merger. But right now, definitely not. Way too young. Way too young. You guys think about this. Think about this. Let's say you do get merged with a nation that does have a whale, and they are up to keep because they are a spender, and you get merged with them. How are they going to look at your nation if it's like not up to keep or up to par? How are they going to look at that? And we'll just tell you in these older nations, the way we would look at that, at least some nations, not me, but some nations, they'll just burn you all. Like
We would eat them.
exactly. Like so. Exactly. Like yeah, they might be like, oh wow, we're gonna get a whale, but in reality, is that whale nation's like, what the fuck is this? And well, there goes the end of your game. And I hate to make it sound like that, but that's all.
No, it's true. We would be like, no, we're just gonna kill this and wait for the next merge.
Yeah, that's the honest to God truth. That's what happens all the time, and unfortunately, it is what it is. Be patient. Be patient. I'd hate to see. I get so many different messages that say, "We got a bully. We got a bully. We got merged. And now we got a bully. We got civil war. They're just burning everything." Yeah, well, I go look at their nation. It's like, oh yeah, well, there's a good reason why they're doing that because the highest you got is a 34, and the highest they got is a 41. Yeah, they're definitely burning y'all. You know, like they were super happy to rush into a merge, and when they got it, well, they found out.
What you heard about 899? They got in a merge and then they fought for the capital. Like it was real. It was.
Wait, they fought for the capital and made it a real fight?
Yes.
What?
A real fight after the merge. Yes, brother. It was so much truth lost last night. It was a massacre, a bloodbath.
Now, was this an agreed fight or was this no? Fuck you, I'm taking it.
Yeah,
Woody,
I think it was.
Picture in.
I think it was like a. I don't think they agreed on the merger and things happened. I don't know.
Supposedly there's some drama. We actually just beat them in Void, Woody. And I'm not saying that's the reason why they almost went into a civil war, but there was some beef, some things were said, some disagreements. The second alliance was trying to tell the first alliance, you know what, we're number one now. And they went at it. And then the other nation that they just merged with was fighting a little bit too.
That's a shame. That's a shame. So this is gonna be a mark.
I mean,
this is gonna be.
They were having
Civil
fun,
War.
supposedly, Woody. I don't think they were complaining.
Well, I mean, still, fights like this is fun. Honestly, I remember doing all that. Back when I first started, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. But as a merge nation, I mean, if it's true what you said that one alliance say no, we're going to be number one, and the other one say no, we're going to be number one. Why didn't they both just look and say, hey, let's make a number one? Let's see what alliance has the better actual buff buildings and the buff stats, and pick that one. Like
they've been separated for a long time, Woody. They've kind of always been this way for
Man,
that nation been dying. It was a good nation, and the unrest killed the nation. That's 899. They was good at one time.
That sucks, man. That sucks. And I can see they got a 40 there. They got 38s there. That sucks.
They was one of our best frenzies. Like they were good at one time.
Well, let's just cross our fingers and hope that they're just doing it for fun. And they get their shit together and they make that strong alliance and they carry on from there because that sucks. Although, um, going in a merger it takes sacrifice. If you walk into a merger and says this is the way it's going to be, and you expect that other nation to follow through, you gotta make sacrifices. Like you can't just say this is the way it's going to be, whether you like it or not. You can't do that. Like walking into a nation like that and saying that, you're looking at civil war. Like probably as soon as you guys, before your hive is built, it's gonna be a civil war. Um, there are a lot of egos in this. Now, if you walk into a merger and you talk to the top guys, because the top guys are the ones going to pretty much set the nation rules. I mean, let's be real. And they all want to be a successful nation. They want to join, or you join them, or the better alliance at that matter after, the buffs and everything else has been proven to be better. Then, make a sacrifice. Who do you want to pick? Who are you going to pick to be in your alliance and who's getting kicked or moving on? Well, look at your activity thing. Pick and choose who's being kicked, who's not being kicked, because that's what's going to have to happen. For instance, the alliance management. What is it? Go through these, man. See who's active, who's not. If it's a 36, but they're not participating in anything, kick them out. Because they're not going to participate after the merge either. And in some nations, they'd burn them. Like 209, they'd burn them. You don't want to participate? Fine. You don't need to be in our nation. I hate to say that, but it's true.
Woody.
What's that?
I said, "Hey, Woody, this is Scrapper from 850.
Hey, Scrapper, how you doing, buddy?
We got our first merger, and it's actually turning out to be pretty decent, man. We've combined together. I mean, there's a few little hiccups here and there where we're trying to get people sorted out, but for the most part, I think it's been a pretty successful merger.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys that we merged with, 841, seem to be a really good group of guys.
You guys are all on the same. Are you guys all on the same track of wanting to be in the top alliance? You guys want to win. You don't. All your other alliances don't want to give away points and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much. There's the third and fourth alliance because the number of active people now is incredible. There's just no room in 3 alliances. All 100 slots are filled.
Unfortunately, that happens in every single merger, and I mean some nations will make that fourth and fifth alliance, but in reality, they're more like a farm. Like
pretty much.
They can give them the title as being a top 5, but in reality, they're a farm. They might not know it.
Yeah,
but they are. I know that sounds so
pretty
fucking
much
horrible, but I mean, if we're being real, that it is what it is.
Absolutely, and we basically said, "Listen, you're a farm," and that's where the third and the fourth are going at it a little bit. No, we deserve to be there. We deserve to be there. But for the most part, other than that, the top 2 alliances we've worked it out pretty well, actually.
Well, yeah, the top 2 alliances definitely. But like, yeah, those third alliances, like I said, go underneath. I got a sneeze. I can feel a sneeze coming. You guys ever had that where you feel it coming, but it ain't there yet? But like for instance, my nation itself, we got the top 2, maybe 3 at max. Everyone else is last chance. those are the people that they normally has dropped bubbles. They've given points away. They're not progressing in their city. They've been literally a C33 for like 6 months now, and they're really not moving anywhere forward for that. That's, I mean, how long does it take to go from 33 to 34? A month. And let's just say if you're a free to play player, it doesn't take long at all. Not that low, at least. I've known people that
Well,
literally.
like you said, 34 is like the wall.
Mhm.
You know, that's where you start to say, okay, like me, I'm at a 34 and I'm waiting on uranium because I just can't get it all. But the nation, so far so good, and we figure within the next couple months, you know, some people will lose interest and they won't even play anymore. You know.
Well, I mean, do they lose interest and not play? Like, do they hide their troops, or they just log off and that's the last time you ever see them, and their troops are still in their city?
No, they're all pretty good about hiding their troops. We've been at Civil War for 2 years, and I guess the nation that merged with us was at Civil War, and they said, "Yeah, they know, like, look, we're bubbling." Period. Um, if if you want, if you want to look at the nation, tell me what your thoughts are on it.
What nation is it?
850, and yeah, because we merged with 841.
Hey, Scrappy. Question: is JP City still off the map, or?
Yeah, it's still off the map.
Okay.
JP City's still off the map, and Destiny's gone off the reservation. Like, she just isn't
I told you.
participating in it.
I told you what you had to do for JP City.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't get too much more included in that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, I mean, that's going to be a tough one because at 39, JP's gone. It's just there on the board and not there. For 830, I don't know, man. I think, honestly, you want my honest opinion?
Absolutely.
I think you guys got some work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are split up. That needs to be fixed. I think if you guys are having civil war, you need to end it now or yesterday.
No. Both nations were in civil war. We're not now.
Okay. Well, I see that you guys are trying to get into being the top alliance, and that's a real good start. This guy Alexander, is he still active or did he quit?
That's Destiny.
Okay, Destiny, she needs to be in your guys' alliance too.
Yeah, she's.
She can't fight by herself.
Yeah.
She can't. This Hello guy, he's a spender. Jeepster's a spender. The 37s are, they're decent spenders for 850. So I mean, they're not super spenders. You have one whale. I'm gonna check your officers real quick.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's for her to be at 8 as a 41. That hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's check the Titans. Titans are okay. They're okay. A little bit warplane. So she's got a gold, possible gold and purple, or possibly just gold and some labs. So I think she needs to stop on her plane and stop on her Titans, and she needs to go back to the officers. Yeah, I think she needs. Hey, can you mute your mic, EDO Kip, please? Thank you. Yeah, I think she needs to go back and just focus on her officers, because the officers she's hurting right now.
Officer.
She gets up. So at 41, you should be between 11, or I'd just say 10 and 12 at 41.
Okay.
So have her stop at her planes, stop doing anything with the planes, stop doing anything with the Titans right now, and seriously focus on those officers. You gotta. It's like a ladder. You start at the equipment, then you go to your officers, then you go to your titans, and then you do your plane. You never go plane, titans, officers, because that plane's only going to be as strong as your titans, and your titans are only going to be as strong as your officers.
Woody, people really trip out on me. I beat city levels that are higher than me that have stronger plane and stronger titans just because of my officers.
Yeah, your
They're all
officers
like, "No way, that's impossible," and I'm like, "Bro, you don't understand the difference makers of the officers, like what they really do."
are huge difference makers, and the equipment too. I've literally seen a 41 with. I'll pull it up. I've seen a 41 with all purple, not a single gold.
Ouch.
Yeah, this guys, this is so many points right here. So many points. Like, let me see if I can. I mean, look at that. 36, 20, long range 20. Trying to find a better reference. The radar would be a perfect one to look at. You got
Yep.
so many long range points, even mid range points that come from your equipment. Guys, these are difference maker things that get to level 6, and everything maxed out on these equipment. These are huge points right here. And I mean, don't get me wrong. You can slowly work on this. Your biggest problem is you're gonna have is trying to get these, obviously.
Yeah.
These top 3. Those are the biggest problems. But I mean, you hunt monsters over and over and over. I know you guys want to save your fuel for strongest commander, and I understand that. But think about it like this: if you are saving that fuel for strongest commander, you're taking away the opportunity to consistently get stronger day by day.
Absolutely. I kill monsters morning, noon, and night.
Yeah, I mean, live.
I always get the auto pack, and even when I go to bed, hit auto, and that's it.
Well, I mean, you think about it. Yeah, auto. Yeah, definitely get that auto no matter what. If anything, get that auto no matter what. It's such a huge thing. But I mean, if you think about it, how many points are you gonna get? I think the most I've ever seen anyone get hunting monsters during strongest commander is like 100 million points. And you're talking about that's like 3 months worth of saving fuel, guys.
I did 111 million one time, and it was 54,000 fuel, but I had to kill 29s too to get it all done in 2 days.
But let me ask you, how long did it take for you to save that fuel? 4 months, right?
Like about 3 months if you're buying some mobility on like Fridays and whatnot. But yeah, about 3 months.
So if you were to use that and consistently keep up of it, and just whenever you get it, just use it. You know how much stronger you would be by now.
It was in the beginning, more the beginning of the globe, and then so it wasn't too bad. But now I agree, burn it. I like to burn my fuel when you have those events where you kill the zombies, you get the permits, and then you can go get like whatever envelopes, uranium, and stuff like that. I always tell everybody, burn your fuel.
Well, I mean,
it's free.
What people don't understand is like those 3 boxes that you get, you can have zero fuel, absolute zero fuel, and by time the 2 days is up, just by sending what you get from you making back from your fuel, you can have those 3 boxes open in the monster hunting. You don't need to go past that. I mean, put it this way: one void hit or frenzy hit can be literally more than what you just spent 2 days trying to freaking burn all your fuel.
Mm-hmm.
I personally hate killing zombies now. The nation is so strong where everybody kills 30s. Like the other strongest commander, it took me 2 days to burn just 12,000 fuel because everybody had fuel and everybody was killing 30s. And I was like, I'm tired of this. It just is like, I'll just burn it whenever.
I wish they'd upgrade it and give us a little bit bigger monsters with a little bit better gifts.
That would be nice. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that. Honestly, love it. Like a 34 or 30 level 35 monster, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
I have noticed that a a lot of people, like for instance today, I couldn't find no level 6s, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm going to just take the level 5s. Yeah, whatever, it is what it is, just to get them over with and done with." A lot of people now that you can't, find them, and when they do find them, people are speeding in and stealing them. If you want, I mean, if you want a war, that would kind of be like something stupid kind of to do, because they can only get 10 of them. If you think about it, they can only get 10 of them.
Yeah.
No one needs to join you like how dinos are. Uh, if there's none, just
Oh
wait.
yeah.
Just wait. You got 24 hours to kill 10 monsters. There's no reason to speed in. Take your time. Of course, if you want a war with someone, I mean, that's definitely something that could cause it with a nation that is on the brink of war kind of gig, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You sped in and killed it. So what? I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it happen many times.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times myself. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
but I appreciate you taking a look at it, and we're coming together. A lot of people learning each other, and our two most active, I think they're 37s. As far as Spike and Vorlorn, basically.
Well, I mean, you guys have everyone. You guys have majority of everyone in the top alliance, which is good. Okay, so that you have that part connected. Are there people in your alliance that are doing all these wasteful side events, such as Triangle War or DLD, or some of these really wasteful ones? I mean, if they're doing that kind of stuff,
yeah, they're doing every event.
That's the problem. If they're spending on those events, they need to stop. Like Triangle War and DLD, there's no need to spend. If you're not going to really try to focus on, like, if you got shitty Titans, and don't take offense to this, but if you already got shitty Titans and you know it, there's no reason to try to upgrade that skin. Actually, try to get the evolution on your Titans better before you start messing with stuff like that, because the skins can cost. Put it this way: if you spend, we'll use Tifa skin for example, $700 for a Tifa skin, level 1, or now it's even more, right? You end up spending almost $1,000 per level. Versus that $1,000 you could have bought so much for your officers and jumped it like 100 points probably. Versus that 0.5. You know what I mean? So like some of these events, side events, you really need to think about.
Not worth it.
They're not. A lot of these side events, the whales, they'll go do because they are so, everything in the game at that point costs so much for just 5 points that, put it this way, the island, okay? The island itself. We'll just use this for example, okay? So a level 6. So for me to go to level 7, that slide, those are $500 a piece, right? So I'm going to need 7 of those. $3,500 for one level. Versus how much can $3,500 get you in your city? You see where I'm getting to?
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, like
that's where the big spenders play. Basically, is on the island.
Yeah, I mean the big spenders play in here, and and like I've always said, this is the difference maker between two different whales fighting it off. Is their island, the skins. Those are the difference makers between whales. And people have more money than they know what to do with. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. But there are players out there that they just have so much money they don't know what to do. They just buy the entire store. To them, it's like grocery shopping. You know who I'm talking about? Grocery shopping.
Yeah.
But
you know what? I'm actually very happy that we got this merger. Like you said, we got some work to do, but now we actually can do the work. We're not sitting under a bubble 24/7 every day of the week, which is kind of nice.
Well, Civil War will do that. If anything, what Civil War is going to teach your guys' nation is how to bubble. It's going to teach you why you need to bubble. Because at any
Oh
point,
yeah.
that, and it's Void. These freshly new merges. You look at Void saying, "Ah, fuck, I'm fat, I'm heavy. Our nation's heavy with wasted freaking troops, and whatnot." And I would always look at your first Void, just look at it as a loss. And the reason I say that is because that first Void, they're going to find your leakers, and they're going to eliminate them. Even if you got to contact that other nation, like, hey, kill them. I'm not saying to do that, but if you wanted to, just do it. Get it out of the way,
We just went through our first void, and that's what you're saying is exactly what happened. I'd say 95% of the nation bubbled well, and 5% did not.
Well, those
And
5%
we
are
found
going
all 5%.
those 5% are going to be the people that are going to cause issues in the future if it doesn't happen sooner or later.
Absolutely.
So, like, do you just get it out of the way with, get it over and done with now? Block them so you ain't got to read the cry in the nation chat. That's what I do. If I hate you, you're blocked the second I hit you. I'm not reading your cry in the nation chat. If you're in Void and your own nation's able to hit you and kill troops, that should tell you, if I'm able to hit you and kill your troops, you fucked up.
Yeah,
because
somebody else
you messed up. Don't get mad at me. This was your mistake. I just saved our nation from giving points away for your mistake. You costed me money. Don't be mad at me. But that's I mean, and I hate to say it, that is the way you have to look at it, and especially for players that are spending money in the game, you have to look at it that way. Someone loses those points. Let's say 1.6 million troops is left unbubbled. Guy's sleeping. He thought he put a freaking 8-hour or one day, but only put a 2-hour on. Bubble drops. Well, he just lost 1.6 million troops. What's that mean for you? You just dropped down 100 million, 200 million points, and now you're losing. So now the whale or the other players that are spending money has to spend more money to speed around, heal their own troops to make up for those troops or those points that you just lost. So
absolutely.
That's the way the number one alliances look at it, guys. If you are the player that gets happen to get bubble drop and get hit, that's the way we look at it. That's if we didn't do it, they were gonna do it. So at least we didn't give the points away. Let me ask you, how many people has played Void against a different nation and actually seen the same nation speed in and zero out a target you were just about to send to?
Seen it, done it.
Right. Like, when that happens, what goes through your mind? Seeing their own nation zero out their own player in the middle of it. What do you think? You're like, whoa, there was a lot of troops I could have had.
It's like, yo, this guy Woody is nuts.
Well, I mean, I learned from these older nations, so don't think that that's my secret sauce. No. I've learned from the older nations. That's what they do. So
I was seconds away from killing that city. That city had like 1.5 million troops. And I was seconds away to kill that city, and you sped in. Like, all right, take it. Take it. 5 fleets. That's what you went in with, 5 fleets. There was nothing left.
Woody, you did that your own nation when we played you in Void the last time, like 3 months ago. We caught a city, I think it was in your third alliance, and all of a sudden Woody ports right next to me, and all of a sudden Woody just sends 5 fleets into the city in his own nation.
Yeah, fam.
I mean, it's you have to do it.
Yeah,
you guys.
No, you don't have to do it. You choose to do it.
Well, I mean, we don't get points away at that point.
Yeah.
But you know what? Also, you notice, like, for say if you were going to set up to do that and you see a 41 port next to you, are you going to still send?
No, we all shielded immediately.
You're like,
we
nope.
Immediately. There were 10 cities, and 10 shields went up immediately. And all of a sudden, Woody sent 5 fleets right into that, and that was it. It was over.
So you guys are all like, "Oh, well, that's over. That plan's done."
Yep. You're talking about 3, 2, 3, 4, 500 million points. You know, that's
Yeah.
especially in void. You know, it's a lot.
I remember those hits, and I actually got a comment from their R5, and their R5 actually left the nation over it too. Um,
Oh
yeah,
God.
their R5 laughed because they're like, "Well, you're hitting a friendly alliance." I'm like, "We're friendly alliances. You're right, but come void time or frenzy time, we're not.
Right.
If I have to hit you, um, something's not right." And I do not
Right.
expect them to use the shield all. I don't expect that.
Right.
What I do expect them to do is they should have contacted me as soon as it
Correct.
happened, and then expect it to be zeroed out, not try to hide it. Because I mean, trust me, they knew, they knew.
That's a healthy relationship the top alliances in the nation that should have. In
Yeah.
732, we do that all the time. We have in Viper like a 732 leaders chat, and
Yeah.
we'll put the coordinates and say zero him.
You have to. I mean, you got to, especially when
We
it comes
drop.
void.
Yeah, we drop friendly status immediately, always right before.
Yeah, there was one void. It was either void or frenzy that I wasn't online to drop it, and we didn't drop it the entire time. And I'm sitting there watching them being zeroed out, and I'm like, I can't do shit about it. Like, I want to. Like, their alliance is messaging me, hey, zero them out. I can't. I can only watch it.
We drop it 2 hours before the start.
Yep.
Just during the purging time, and we keep it that way.
And that's the way it should be. You should always do that. And you know what? It's not to declare war on them. It's because if you guys mess up, or if someone in our alliance messes up, you better take them out.
Right, 100%.
Period. I mean that's just.
Especially if you're a competitive, like your nation 732. If you're a competitive void nation, and you're winning the majority of the time, those hits against could I mean, you heard the name Cali.
Yeah.
2 voids ago, somebody shield dropped, and he lost his void tyrant. The guy got like 410 million zeroing somebody.
Oh, dude, that happened to me.
Yo, there was about 45 minutes left, and he worked his tail off. He had like 1.4, 1.3 billion, and second place guy had like maybe like 900, 875, and all of a sudden it was like, what just happened? Why is this guy in first place?
Yep.
And we found out, city got zeroed with a lot of troops, like over 2 million troops.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That happened to me a few frenzies ago. It was against Nation 700, and literally me and Dab, that's his name, Dabs.
Yeah, yep.
Me and him went back and forth for Tyrant. We already knew we were going to win. We were far ahead of him.
As a nation.
As a nation, yeah. But at that point, it's a Tyrant fight. Who's going to be Tyrant? Right. And he looked like he was going to get it, dude. And I'm like, fuck. And then one of their nations that they were in one of the players that they were in civil war with, straight parked up next to me and SOS'd me and gave me the lead back. Gave me the lead back. And there wasn't just one that did it, like 3 of them did it. And then at the last 30 seconds, one of FMA players unbubbled and he took it back. I was like, you motherfucker. Like 30 seconds left. Really? And I get it. We had the win, and that's the way they were looking at it. But the way I was looking at it is that this was a fight between 2 whales fighting for Tyrant. 100%. This was a Tyrant fight, damn it. This wasn't a nation fight. We already won it. We're fighting for the Tyrant.
Yeah, and 38,000 gold and merit and all that shit.
Yeah, I've just done spent 500,000 gold. I want that 38,000. Oh man, yeah, so needless to say, she did get zeroed out afterwards. And it wasn't me that zeroed it out. It was her own alliance that zeroed her out. Like, the thing is, like, their own alliance was watching the scores too. They knew we were going back and forth too. So I don't know. It was. I feel bad for her getting zeroed out, but I mean, at that same time, with 30 seconds left of the freaking void.
Nice.
Come on, like
you don't feel bad.
Yeah, you don't. If you got the lead,
Yes, he doesn't feel bad. I seen him zero an R5 of our fourth alliance. I mean, and then even on his live video, he's like, "Oh, look at this! Wow! Wonder if he has troops. Let me send 5 fleets. Let's find out. Oh, he got troops."
Sorry.
The guy quit the game the next day.
Sorry.
Click for
He quit it.
heartbeat.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
It's okay. His excuse was, "I was quitting anyway." We're like, "Yeah, okay."
No, you lost 3 million troops. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, he was done.
He didn't have
He
that
was done.
many kills anyway, so like I don't think he really fought
No.
that much.
No, but yeah, he was done. In your video, it's hysterical. You're like, "Wow, now could he actually have troops? And why is he sitting here with no shield?"
Is this a trap? Let's check.
This is a trap. Well, no, you didn't say it was a trap. You said, "Let's try this out." And that was the end. Then
That was the end.
That was the end of it.
That was like that one song with the guys carrying the coffin. I don't know if I have that soundboard. I probably do. I just don't know where it's at. That happens, guys. I mean,
yeah, it's a war game, man.
oh, absolutely, absolute war game. But all right, guys, we are literally 2 hours in, 2.5 hours in. I'm gonna end the stream. I think we've had a pretty good stream. I will say this, guys. If you want to join my Discord and talk to other whales that some people